Hey guys, it's me, the hobbyist, coming to you live from my favorite place, my bed. And I feel comfortable saying that yes, my favorite place is a place where I sleep, I eat occasionally, do other stuff. This is just a really comfortable space for me. This is my space where I feel at ease. This is where I come to relax. This is where I come to be sad. This is where I come to journal. This is where I come to listen to my music and tune into my own mind. And this is where my cat also sleeps. I've recently found out I am allergic to my cat, and that has been contributing to some sinus issues that I've been facing for the last few years. She doesn't care, and I've grown an attachment to her. So at this point, there's nothing I can really do. But that's beside the point. Today, I want to talk about the importance of recharging your own battery and going at your own pace. And I'm speaking from a creative standpoint, but this can go for anybody that does any type of productivity, any type of output, which is most of us, which is all of us really, because I don't think there's any way you can exist in this world without putting something out there. Like, you got to do something. Even if your something is just going to the gas station every morning and you're doing something. Everybody is doing something if they are capable. But from a creative standpoint, you guys know I'm the hobbyist. I do a lot of different things. As of recently, I've just been hammering out digital art and drawing traditionally with like paper and marker and such like that. And I've been having a great time with it. But as of yesterday, I just reached a point where I'm like, okay, I'm getting a little burned out on this. And that's fine. It's fine, because now that just means that it's time for me to do something else. It's time for me to absorb more than putting out and creating. It's time for me to do some learning. It's time for me to do some living. It's time for me to take a break from constant output. But also, it's a great time for me to reflect on the things that have been working for me in the past couple weeks. I've been entering in a season where I've been kind of feeling not necessarily lost, more so the future hasn't been aligned. Like, the future has not been, okay, I know what's about to happen. It's kind of been like I'm just going with the flow because I don't know. Every day is different, and this is a really different space for me, considering that I like to plan, have a sort of routine and schedule to myself. Like, I typically know what's going on, but as of lately, things out of my control have been happening that have been affecting my routine, and every day is different. And it has kind of ignited my anxiety a little bit. But also, I think that it's showing me things, it's putting things in my face to show me, okay, these are things you need to work on. These are things that are triggers. These are things that you can benefit from some self-reflection on. So I feel like existing in my current season and just appreciating life for what it is at this very moment has really been grounding me, like grounding myself in every day. Like, every day I don't have to be 100%. Every day I don't have to show up as my best self. Some days I can just exist and be, and that's okay. It's very appropriate. Like, I don't have to be on 100% of the time. And I feel like that's a big thing with like creatives or anyone with like a social media presence. Like, we feel the need to put ourselves out there all the time in order to reach our goals. But I feel like, as important as it is to put ourselves out there, it is also important for us to know when to reel it in and when to take care of ourselves and look inward rather than trying to be something for someone else. It's more important for us to fill our own cup. I'm embarking in a new season where I am dating someone, and that's also scary because I spent a lot of time just being alone and cultivating my own sense of self-worth and self-love. Now I have somebody else that wants to add to that as well. So I have to find balance within, like, okay, I spent a lot of time by myself to learn how to be by myself, to learn how to love myself authentically. I spent a lot of time showing up as myself or rather coming to terms with who I am so that I can show up as myself, finding different outlets and coping mechanisms for my emotions that I feel occasionally. So now it's like, now I have to think about how those things will work with somebody romantically, somebody that wants to be a part of my life. And not just like sometimes, like every day. Like it's really throwing me for a loop because I'm like, you want to be a part of everything that I am? Like you like all of this, even when I'm being weird? Like this is weird. So it's like, it's kind of like I'm trying to find balance in between. What do I keep for myself? What do I present to the world? And I'm still trying to figure it out because I don't know. Like, it's no part of me that I'm embarrassed about, or no part of me that I'm like, I don't want anybody to know. Like, it's nothing about me that I be chilling. I'm very secure in what I do, who I am. And for the longest, I was like, okay, I probably won't find anybody, considering the fact that I am just very secure in myself and I'm different, and I do different things. I think differently, but there's somebody that also is like on that same type of wavelength, which is kind of scary. So I think this is a season for me of like unlearning things that I've been telling myself, because the narrative that we give ourselves, the narrative that we speak in our mind, okay, the narrative that tells us this is what the situation is, this is how you need to interpret it, this is the only meaning, like that narrative can really lead you astray. And it's more important for us to look at things objectively and also communicate. If you feel like there is a miscommunication, if you feel like there is some type of boundary that needs to be put in place, it's important to say it. And it's important to think about it and reflect on it by yourself as well. Like everything that we think does not need to be said immediately. I find that most times when I take a moment to myself and actually like reflect, my whole narrative of whatever I thought was going on changes. And it's kind of scary if you think about it, because it makes me think about all the times that I've communicated with somebody and I wasn't speaking my truth because I didn't know my truth in the moment, or I said something too harsh or too brash and ended up altering relationships or dynamics. When if I would have just taken a break and just sat with myself and learned myself a little bit more and talked to myself a little bit more, things could have gone better. So I believe that that's what season I'm in right now, is less of mindless doing and output and more of finding ways to take breaks and communicate with myself and tap in with myself. I hope you enjoy my cat's little strut past the screen. I want to be a reminder to you guys that any alone time you need to take, any deviation from whatever path that you feel like you should be on is appropriate. I believe that we are where we're supposed to be at any given moment. Things are placed in front of us when we need to see it. I believe that all of us are truly aligned with what we need. We just need to take a step back and analyze and absorb that, because a lot of times the signs are placed in front of us, but we choose not to see it. We choose not to look deeper into things. I can say honestly, anything that I've ever set intention into doing, it falls into place eventually. May not be exactly when I say I want it, but I believe that manifestation is real and aligning yourself with your goals is real. Like anytime I set a goal for myself, I put myself in position to receive whatever it is that I'm looking for. I realized that I was looking for a romantic partner for a while, not necessarily looking, but like desiring one, right? So what I did was I took a lot of time to cultivate a sense of self-love and get to know myself more and put myself in a position to be loved. And even though I still have more work to do, I think that that's what life is about. Life is cyclical. Life is always growing. Like life is about moving forward. Sometimes you move backwards. It's a ebb and flow. Life is about changes. Nothing ever stays the same. Plants continue to grow. They go through their seasons. Things begin to build up and pile up. Hair gets longer. And I know y'all see me, but we ain't gonna talk about that right now. Things change, things grow. And I think it's more important that we remain flexible in those changes. And we don't have to stay just one way. We don't have to do what the masses think we should. We don't have to be whoever the general zeitgeist believes that we should be. Like, we don't have to meet any status quos. We don't have to appeal to anybody but ourselves, honestly. Like, and that's something that I've been learning just by being on YouTube, is that there's a lot of people in your ear saying, oh, this is how you succeed on YouTube. This is how you grow on YouTube. But it's like, I'm more concerned with growing personally. I'm more concerned with reaching whoever needs to hear it. And what I have to share may not be appealing to the masses, and that's fine. I don't have to be. I just want to be somebody that has something good for at least one person, one or two people. I want to inspire people because people have inspired me, and that's my version of giving back. Is I feel like one of my biggest things that I can give back is inspiration and my ideas of what I think makes life so great and how I cope with life, because I feel like life is something that you have to cope with. Like, there's things that's going to happen that's out of your control. There's bad things that occur all the freaking time, and we can't internalize all of it, because if we internalize all the bad things, that'll wear down on our internal peace. And I feel like when the world is at chaos, there needs to at least be peace within you. And whenever there's not peace, you have to tap in to see why that is, for whatever reason. At this moment, I feel like I've talked about everything under the sun in this video. And it's going to take some reflection to know what the title is going to be or how I want to dress this up. Because I feel like everything I said goes together, but who knows? This may have just been a rant. Regardless, I want you guys to understand it is me, the hobbyist. And I'm here, being me, showing up authentically as myself. And if you've been here along for my journey, you know that initially that was not the easiest thing to do. But now I can say, on this day, in the springtime, I have bloomed and I have blossomed. And I know why the caged bird sings. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Have a great day.